Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Rina Saraswati. In this video, I will explain my academic essay about realistic mathematics education to support student mathematics cognitive ability development. Mathematics is a compulsory subject that needs to be taught for every level of education in Indonesia, from elementary school, junior high school, until senior high school. In accordance with the objective formulated by the Ministry of National Education, that mathematics needs to be taught to equip students with the ability to think logically, analytically, systematically, critically, and creatively, as well as the ability to work together. Why is it necessary to study mathematics? Mathematics is knowledge that is needed by everyone in life daily. Because many mathematical concepts can be found in everyday life. Good understanding of concept mathematics will help in solving some of the problem in daily life. Through learning mathematics, students can train their ability to think rationally, critically, logically, analytically, and systematically. Developing mathematical cognitive abilities or mathematical thinking skill is one of the goals of learning mathematics. This is in line with the learning objective mathematics proposed by Mahmudi, that in general the learning objective mathematics focuses on developing thinking skills, character, and behavior development positive. Students who have cognitive abilities can activate and utilize their mathematical knowledge effectively to solve contextual problems. Therefore, cognitive abilities is one of the abilities that students must have in learning mathematics at school. Cognitive abilities should be given more attention to learning mathematics through learning activities and through assessment. What is mathematics cognitive ability? Cognitive language comes from the Latin cogiter, which means think. In the Big Indonesian Dictionary, cognitive means everything something relating to or involving cognition or based on empirical factual knowledge. Cognitive is a term that describes all mental activities that relates to perception, thought, memory, and processing of information that enables one acquires knowledge, problem solving, and plans for the future. Cognitive mathematical ability is related to a person's ability to receive mathematical information obtained, how to process that information, and how to interpret it. This includes the ability to solve problems and make decisions. Problem solving is an ability that must be mastered by students in every cognitive action, namely to connect every knowledge and experience that has been obtained to produce new knowledge in order to get a solution and solve a problem. According to the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics or NCTM, there are 5 standards of mathematical cognitive abilities that must be possessed by students. There are problem solving, communication, connection, reasoning, and representation ability. In order to realize that 5 standards of cognitive ability, 5 general goals math learning have been formulated. There are mathematical communication, mathematical reasoning, mathematical problem solving, mathematical connection, and positive attitudes towards mathematics. To evaluate the quality of mathematics education, Indonesia has consistently participated in international studies. There are Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study or TIMSS and the Program for International Student Assessment or PISA. Based on the result of the PISA and TIMSS studies, it can be concluded that the quality of Indonesian mathematics education is still relatively low. Why Indonesian student math skill is still relatively low? Many factors cause Indonesian student mathematical ability is still low. President of the Association of Indonesian Mathematics Teachers, Dr. Andes Firman Syahnur, MPD, said that the weak curriculum in Indonesia, the lack of trained Indonesian teachers, and the lack of support from the environment and schools are the main causes of Indonesian student mathematics rankings being low. The mathematics education curriculum in the country does not emphasize problem solving, but on procedural methods. Students are trained to memorize formulas but do not master its application in solving a problem. In addition, the object of the subject matter provided by the teacher is also incomplete when compared to the international curriculum. In addition, the incomprehensive mathematics education curriculum in Indonesia also makes Indonesia's mathematics ranking score low. Learning methods is one of the elements of the curriculum and used in the process learning. The characteristics of the learning methods are flexible, open, and participatory. Flexible means that it can be modified in its use. Open means that it can accept input for change and method development. And participatory means that students involved in the planning, implementation, and evaluation of learning. The learning process carried out by mathematics teachers in the classroom is very influential on improving student attitudes and learning outcomes. So far, student learning outcomes in mathematics can be said to be always low when compared to other subjects. One of the contributing factors is the lack of strategies used by mathematics teachers, including using various learning methods according to the topics being taught. To develop student mathematics cognitive ability, and appropriate mathematics learning methods is needed. Problem posing is an activity task that leads to cognitive activities, critical and creative attitudes. One of the learning models that can be applied by teachers in order to help develop student mathematical cognitive abilities is realistic mathematics education. What is realistic mathematics education? Realistic mathematics education, or RME, is a teaching and learning theory in mathematics education. RME theory was first introduced and developed in the Netherlands in 1970 by the Freudenthal Institute. RME has been developed and tested for 30 years in the Netherlands and proven to be successful in stimulating student reasoning and thinking activities. This theory refers to the Freudenthal opinion, who said that mathematics should be associated with reality and mathematics are human activities. It means mathematics must be close to the student and relevant to real life daily. Grave-Meyer suggests that mathematics as a human activity means that humans must be given opportunity to rediscover mathematical ideas and concepts with adult guidance. This effort is carried out through exploration realistic situations and problems. Realistic in this case intended not to refer to reality but to something that can be imagined by student expressed by Schleiermacher. The principle of reinvention can be inspired by procedure informal solving, whereas the discrete rediscovery process uses mathematical concepts. The purpose of learning mathematics with a realistic approach is that students have knowledge that can be transferred from one problem to another problem and from one context to another context. That goal will be achieved if the learning process uses a realistic approach and students learn with how to put subject matter in a meaningful context. With this approach, students will be responsible for their learning as they gain experience and knowledge. The characteristic of learning with RME are: first, using contextual problems. Learning begins by using contextual problem as a starting point for learning. Contextual problems that become the topic of learning must be simple problems that are recognized by students. Second, using models. The model here is a bridge between the real and the abstract that helps students learn mathematics at different levels of abstraction. The term model related to situational models and mathematical models developed by students themselves. The role of self-developed models is a bridge for students from real situation to abstract situation or from informal mathematics to formal mathematics. This means that students make their own models in solving problems. The first model is a situation that is close to the student's real world. The generalization of the formalization of the model will turn into a model of the problem. Through mathematical reasoning, the model will shift to a model for similar problems. In the end, will be a formal mathematical model. Third, using student contribution. A major contribution to the teaching and learning process is expected to come from students. This means that all student thoughts are considered. 4. Interactive. Interaction between student and teacher is fundamental in RME. Explicitly, the forms of interaction in the form of negotiation, explanation, justification, agree, disagree, question, or reflection are used to achieve the formal form of the informal forms of student. Fifth, integrate with other topics. In RME, integration of mathematical units is essential. If in learning we ignore the relationship with other fields, it will affect problem solving, and applying mathematics more complex knowledge is usually required. In reference to the characteristic, the mathematics learning using RME is carried out in several steps, including: first, understanding problem or context; second, explaining contextual problem; third, solving contextual problem; fourth, comparing and discussing answer; and fifth, drawing conclusion. A realistic mathematics education learning model is an alternative learning that requires students to construct knowledge with their own abilities through the activities they do in learning activities in accordance with the RME learning steps. The main idea of learning using the RME learning model is that students are given the opportunity to invent mathematical concepts with teacher guidance. The principle of finding their own mathematical concept by solving various contextual problems given by the teacher. Through this activity, student mathematical cognitive abilities will develop. Students get meaningful learning because students are actively involved in the learning process. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.